Ever been a part of a game with that type of wild finish?
Yeah, I don't think so, man. It was obviously a roller coaster type game, but look, in the end, I think we kind of do it to ourselves, right? We're up a man. We let go of the lead a couple times, so for us, obviously, it was vital for us to get the 3 points. In the end, we were able to get it done in a fashion that I think is uplifting for the club and for the fans, but at the same time, I think we have to look at ourselves and with a little bit of criticism that we gave up the lead twice.
All right, as mentioned, you guys are a younger team. Obviously, with something like tonight, as you just mentioned, you see when you make a tackle like that, considering all those things you just mentioned, what does it do for you guys, for your group, to see that play made?
I think it gives us a lot of confidence. It shows the type of player that he is, and it encourages us to be those types of players. Players who are willing to give it all. 90th minute, first minute, doesn't matter what time it is. So for us, extremely uplifting and encouraging. It gives us a lot of confidence, and obviously now it's a short turnaround, looking toward Wednesday.
Lastly, we asked Wayne already what he's done on the field in terms of impact for Lucho. What he's done for you in terms of opening things up, and for you guys up front in general?
Yeah, it makes it easy to play. He obviously has a very good understanding of the game, and I think every game now and each practice we continue to learn about each other and continue to build our chemistry. He's a great player, and he can make plays like he did tonight that won the game for us.
You ever been a part of a game? Wild finish. Very wild finish. What's going through your mind? You guys push up, obviously come to the box, you see the ball go over you guys' head. What's your initial thoughts?
I mean, my initial thoughts is to obviously run back as a defender, but when I looked up and I'm looking at my keeper is literally next to me.
Was he behind you or next to you in the box?
I mean, he was a little bit behind me, but that was too far for my comfort. So I'm just like looking at them break, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta work as hard to get back as quickly as possible, and to see Wayne make that run, make that challenge, it was great to see, especially as a defender, to see our DP, our top striker, give himself up, defensively for the team. It's great. It's great to see.
With you guys being so young, as Ben was just talking about, as you were talking about your DP, top striker, doing something like that, what does it mean for you guys to see that?
I mean,
just the significance behind it.
It's great. It's great, to come from someone of that caliber, of that experience, his selflessness to work on for the team, I think that sends a message not only to us as players, but to managers, everyone tied into DC United, that everyone has to do their bit and more if we want to succeed, if we want to push ourselves to the next level, and to see that from someone of his ability, it's great.
Lastly, the night Lucho has, what do you think his presence has done for Lucho, just opening up his game?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think it instills confidence in Lucho. Obviously, his experience, so he's able to help Lucho tactically, put him in the right spots, talk to him, because obviously he's been around the game a long time, so he knows the game, and just the way he's influenced Lucho, you could see it tonight.
Good evening, everybody. This is the Focus TV. We got a lot for you guys this evening. Thank you for joining us. We got Miss Octavia Wyatt here, Cardell Dudley, our guest Colby, Giacubeno. Got Damo Rowe over here on social media with his phone up. Posted Tarpey Jr. And we're gonna have some fun. So we got some mystics to talk about. Some DC United breakdown series as always with Jamal Hayward at 9/450. As we just talked about our guest Colby. Gonna have a good conversation with him. I'm gonna sit back and watch him and Cardell talk, see what I can learn, because it's two of two guys that know a lot about grassroots basketball, and definitely want to take notes if it's something you're a part of. The big event coming up. After that, I think that whole rapid fire thing, we'll get back into that. That's always a blast. So Colby, I hope you're ready. Think on your feet. He doesn't let us know anything about the questions in advance, so we're at the same event as you are. Welcome. All right, so shout out to the Mystics real quick on a 6-game winning streak. A lot of DC always likes to talk about teams that are winning and whatnot. So we're gonna take the time to do what most don't hear, which is acknowledge them for what they're doing. 6-game win streak. The team's been on a whole different level since the All-Star break. They made a trade, and they hit a whole nother place. And sometimes, it's weird in sports. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of tweaking, and things improve. Not necessarily about, the people involved. Sometimes it's just the fit, and that's what makes sports wonderful. So shout out to them. And I'm gonna say this later on, but DC United game on Sunday, and I went out my way to call Cardell because I couldn't contain my excitement. I was like, just being there, like that's probably the best game like in terms of the ending, the best ending I've seen as a media member. So whoever tops that, trust me, I'm gonna let you guys know because as of right now, that shot to the top, and I almost forgot everything else, like period, just because that happened. I've been telling everybody about it, people that like soccer, people that don't. My wife doesn't care at all. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened tonight? Like, okay, cool.
That's the best.
So I tried. Like, I really did call Cardell. Like, it's 11:45. I'm like, I want to tell you about what happened. So I told him the next day, it's so bad, man. I sent him like 5 videos to check it out.
I looked at it. It was tough. I'm not going to front, but I was out, man.
No. Hey, look, it's okay. Out. I just want to let you know you weren't the only one I tried to wake up to tell about that. So that being said, man, Colby, you're here for a reason. Little background on Colby. Prep Hoops Maryland senior contributor, and as of right now, the most pertinent thing coming up, Super 80 Showcase Scouting. So Cardell, the floor is yours. Sit back and enjoy this.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. All we do is get right to it. What was your motivation for starting the Super 80 event?
Motivation was, you have a lot of events down here in D.C. and PG County that, showcase the talent, and deservingly so. There's a ton down here. But you just don't see many events up in the Baltimore area. You'll have them here or there, but in terms of trying to get all the top kids in the area from every, shoe company team, let's just put all that aside for, an hour or two, get out on the court, and just do what all makes us happy and play basketball. So that was kind of the mindset behind it. I wasn't sure, the feedback I was going to get from it. I feel like I have a good relationship with all the players in the area, but going back to, I hate how there has to be politics and everything, but there is, unfortunately. And just trying to put that to the side because I come from, type of the standpoint of none of that matters to me. So luckily, man, I've gotten great feedback and gotten a lot of the top players in the city. And I've reached out to other areas as well. I'm not just keeping it just Baltimore, but when I am reaching out, I want to try to get the under-the-radar kids too who maybe, needed some light shine on them. I just want to give these kids a stage to be more noticed because I know the older generation is always, get off my lawn type of thing. But these kids do work hard, in terms of training and putting in the hours. So if they can just kind of, get on the court and just have some fun for a while and, have some media members around and some college coaches watching, that's what makes me happy.
Okay. And what was the selection process like? Did you base it off just, obviously name and talent, or was accomplishments part of it? Was grades, rankings? What was everything that went into it? Like, I'm going to reach out to that player.
I kind of took all that into consideration. But I'll be honest, if there's a kid that is kind of, neck and neck with another kid, and I know the one's maybe really struggling in school or doesn't show effort in school, I'm going to go with the one with higher grades because at the end of the day, these coaches are going to come up to me and say, hey, I like that kid. Tell me about him. And what can I say? I can say he can put the ball in the basket, but he can't do anything in the classroom. And right then I'm wasting the coach's time. So, you got to get the guys that
first and foremost, take care of their business on and off the floor. Then, rankings do play a part in terms of just finding the kids. I mean, I've seen pretty much – I try to get out and see every Baltimore team during the season. I try to kind of develop a relationship with these kids as much as I can. So I have a pretty good feel for who's going what level, or in my opinion, who should go what level. And so I took that in consideration as well. And then, like I said, if there's a kid that I know just, busts his butt and works hard all the time and is a good kid, and I feel like, could maybe help out at a Division III or maybe even Division II, I want to try to shine, some light on him. Just really quick, there's a kid in the 2019 game named Maurice Smith. He was at Mount St. Joe when he was a freshman and sophomore. He transferred. He's going to be a senior at Newtown. He's beat cancer twice. And he came back finally this spring and played for Team BBC Basketball Club, and is finally starting to get his game back. And he was supposed to be a really good player coming out of middle school, highly thought of and everything. And then, you get hit with that. Yeah. I've had a lot of talks with him, but it's hard for me not to pull for a kid like that. You know what I mean? And everything that comes to him, he's just very humble. He's had to learn at a young age, obviously. So just get out there and have some fun with, the other top talent. I thought he deserved that.
Okay. With each class, and I know it's broken down in class of 2019, 20, 21, 22, would they just stick with their class when they compete, or you mixing it up with them, like 2019 is going to compete against 2022s and all that? Yeah,
no, I'm keeping it just 2019 versus 2019, 10 kids each team, and that follows suit for the rest of the games. Even though probably this freshman class could stick with the seniors, I've seen them play against the seniors, and they do more than hold their own. I just thought it was only right, to give everybody even playing field in terms of that, and really let them show what they have.
Okay. Overall, what do you hope to accomplish with this event, not just for this year, but moving forward as well?
Give the kids just a stage to showcase their talent again in Baltimore, so they don't have to come down to DC. Nothing against DC, but if we have all this talent in an area, why not showcase it in our backyard? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I just want to do something positive for the city as well. Baltimore is a rough city, just like DC, and there's a certain select amount of guys that I feel like do a lot of good things, including Sean Brunson with the Brunson League. They're just trying to do whatever they can to spread some positivity, and I feel like basketball can bring us all together and make everybody happy, and just have a good time for how many ever hours it is in this particular event, 6 hours, 12 to 6, 12 to 8. So that's what I really hope. I just want the word to spread, and for this, every August, 3rd August, and 3rd Saturday in August, for this the place to be.
Okay. Let everybody know, where would this event take place?
It's going to be at Randallstown High School, and like I said, the freshman game is the first, followed by the sophomores, juniors, seniors. They're going to start at 12. The doors will open around 11. The kids are going to get there and be shooting up early. So if whoever does want to come, feel free to come. 11:15, 11:30. Admission's going to be $10 at the door. We'll have concession stands and all that. So hoping it's a good event. I'm pretty sure Downtown Locker Room's going to come and be the DJ and do some some community type of stuff and advertisement. So it's starting to come together.
Okay. I'm going to throw a few plays at you. You
Go
know
ahead.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
I want you to give the casual fans who may just be hearing about this for the first time, break down each player's game. So I'm going to start with James Bishop.
James Bishop, probably one of the more highly thought of players that are going to be playing this event. He recently just cut his list down to 6. He had over 15 Division I offers from high majors to mid majors.
Played at Mount St. Joe's.
Yep, Mount St. Joe, 6'2", lefty. He can shoot it. He can score it. This AAU season, he played for Team Thrill. He was tied for first in scoring and average per game, which he led last year, the Under Armour circuit. So, just a kid that can feel it up. I think he had 43 on Team Rio this summer. I think an insane amount of threes. It slipped my mind, but yeah, he's definitely a guy that was on top of my list just because whenever the ball is in his hand, something good happens.
Yeah, he turned out the top 100 camp too at University of Virginia, so been a great summer for him. What about another guy who I'm high on? I love played at Perry Hall, Anthony Walker.
Anthony Walker, like you said, Perry Hall guy. Now he transferred to Brewster Academy, national powerhouse team up in New Hampshire. 6'8", 6'9", really long, really athletic. He's adding to his game. He has a pretty consistent 3-point shot now. He can play well over the rim. I know you've seen him play. Cardell he's the prototypical stretch four right now in terms of NBA frame. Just really long, skinny. He's not that big yet, but his game he's gonna need a lot in terms of tuning up, and he'll get that at Brewster. But if you plan on bringing a camera to the event, he's going to be a reason why. Whether somebody's in his way or not, he's going to rise up and dunk on him.
Okay, what about Will Thomas?
Will Thomas, Mervo, senior, played for Team Thrill, and he can actually play with both hands. He can shoot with both hands. He has his whole life. It messed me up the first time I watched him because I really did. I thought I saw a glitch. It was really weird because usually
a 2K glitch.
Yeah, usually you'll see some guys they might I've seen guys tweak their shots where they'll shoot in game right, and then in the free throw line if they're having problems or whatever they'll shoot left. But if Will's attacking with his left hand, he's going to shoot left, and if he's attacking with his right hand, he's going to shoot right, and they're both pretty efficient. So. That was crazy to me, but I think a really underrated part of his game is his passing. He's just a playmaker overall, and a really exciting kid to watch. 6'5", he's got really good size. He's got a few Division I offers, and he's the type of kid, he'll make the game fun to watch with his energy, and he'll be talking to the crowd and all that, so he'll get into it. Just a perfect Baltimore type of guy.
I hope I pronounced his name right. Rozier Jones?
Yep, Rozier Jones, lockdown defender. Got the BCL Defensive Player of the Year last year for St. Francis. He's another rising senior, 6'3", really really good, strong body. He can shoot it as well from the outside, playing along ace. He kind of just hangs around the perimeter and nails threes when he's called upon. But with him, when I was trying to divvy up the teams. And if one was kind of loaded on one side, if I put him on the other, I know he's gonna stop him. So that's you don't really see many defensive type of players these days because everybody just wants to shoot and score. But Rozier is that guy, so I'm excited to have him a part of it as well.
Bass Diop.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. Bass, he's 6'6", Hampton commit. He committed last year. St. Francis, another rising senior. St. Francis has a lot of guys in this. He does a little bit of everything, and I wouldn't say he's exceedingly great at one thing, but he rebounds at a good rate. He can shoot the 15-footer. I don't know if were you at the St. Francis Poly game last year?
No, I didn't make that one.
That's when he had his hands down best game probably of his career, and he was really a big reason why St. Francis was able to beat Poly that game. And just did a little bit of everything. He can play with his back to the basket, shoot from 15 feet, good defender, long, athletic, so just an all-around solid prospect.
Drew Green.
Under the radar type of guy that I feel like a lot of college coaches don't know. I think he's more of a low major, maybe a mid-major type of player if he reaches his full potential, but 6'3", McDonough, rising senior. Really athletic, sneaky athletic. When you see him, he kind of just looks like a kid. He has filled out more, but he'll drive baseline and punch it on you, and you won't even see it coming. So he's still working on his jump shot. I actually played with Drew a couple weeks ago. Still working on his jump shot, and that'll come around. But really good athlete, really good kid, excellent student. When he went to Lake Clifton, had a 4.0. He's doing really well at McDonough, which is one of the top high schools in the country in terms of academics as well. So he's one that I'm definitely rooting for, and a guy who can have a positive impact on any team that he's on.
Okay, Chase Paul.
Chase Parr blew up this summer. 6'10", Glen Country, rising senior, lefty. Really, really good footwork in the post. He's crafty with his moves. Good defender. Still is improving on his athleticism, which he will. But I mean, Nebraska's on him. There's some high major schools on him, and a ton of mid majors. So definitely wanted to get him in this. He's extending his range out as well. He should be an impact player for the in the MIA BCL.
Okay, Cam Spencer.
Trying to think. Probably the hands down the best catch and shoot shooter in the area. Boys Latin, rising senior. Another guy that played with Team BBC this summer. Like I said, there's not many I've seen in terms of just pure shooter that can knock it down like him. He committed to Loyola about a month ago. So he's a guy that's going to stay local. Just another good kid that works really hard. He had some back issues this summer that caused him to miss a couple months. But he's back. He's ready to go, and he's definitely going to light it up from deep.
Another super athletic wing, R.J. Blakeney.
Yeah, I mean he's scary.
Yeah,
I mean you've seen him before. I don't want to compare him in terms of just all around playmaking, but when he's on the break and he can go out with one hand and cock that ball back, it's like LeBron-esque. I mean, he can get eye level with the rim. He throws it down hard. So I was definitely wanted to get RJ involved in this game, and I'm glad he confirmed and he'll be there. And he's a guy who can his ceiling is high.
Yes.
He can score it when he's focused defensively. He can really get after it on that end as well. So he's another guy. You bring your camera, and he's on the break. You wanna hit record.
Another guy who I love because he got a lot of dog in him. He got a lot of Gary Payton in him.
Okay.
Gerard Mungo. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He get up there, you let you know. That's what I love.
Yep. Mungo. He's a goal man, a rising senior from Patterson. Like you said, he just plays with that chip on his shoulder. It doesn't matter who he's going against. It doesn't matter if he just got showed up on the play after. He's going to come back and try to answer. So Gerard's definitely a kid that I'm excited about. He should have a really big year this year for Patterson. Another guy that's been under the radar because of his size. He's kind of a tweener. For Patterson last year, he even had to play the power forward because they just had no size at all. But this year they should have a little bit more size. I think if he was able to showcase his ability as a point guard, his recruitment will pick up. But definitely a guy that I want college coaches to know, you should be on and definitely give some consideration to, especially at the Division II level.
Right. Deshaun Phillips just recently prepped at Mount Zion. He just announced that he's going to prep at Mount Zion. Just led Dunbar to a championship last year. Really, really good player. I know Jamal West is another guy that was on that Dunbar team who had a lot of impact, but they don't win that championship without Deshaun Phillips at all. I mean, he was a guy that if he had to go flirt with the triple-double every night, he would do it, and he doesn't look like he could. I mean, he's got the size at 6'4", 6'5", very skinny. He's athletic, but not a guy that you would picture, banging down low, and he's more than happy to do it. So he's definitely a guy in terms of if you're looking at the Baltimore type of picture, I had to insert him, so I'm glad that he'll be a part too. Okay, now that you mentioned on Jamal West,
so he's going to be playing in the 2020 game. Rising junior, actually transferred from Dunbar to St. Francis, so he'll be over there with those guys. Very, very under the radar type of kid, and I think the reason being is he's 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", but he plays like an old school power forward, but very, very athletic, and his motor is something like I've never seen before. In terms of high school and for his age, I think last year at during the state tournament, he averaged something like 13 points and I want to say 17, 18 rebounds a game. He goes after everything. He's strong as an ox, and just a really good kid as well. So Jamal was, when I was going through the 2020 list, he was definitely one of my top guys that I wanted to get.
Okay. Ace Baldwin.
Ace Baldwin, it's pretty much no secret he's one of my favorite players in the area. Just the way that he has such control on the game and dissects it. The first time I saw Ace play, I went over to his father and his mother and I asked, like, when he was little, did you take him to the park or the gym a lot and play with older guys? Because that's just what he played. His IQ for the game was just so ahead of his age, and his feel for the game was. And as a result, last year, he was the motor on that very, very good St. Francis team. Went straight up with Emmanuel quickly, gave him all that he could, and they ended up beating John Carroll in front of John Calipari, which definitely caught some eyes. And now he hasn't gotten offers from him yet, but all the blue bloods are starting to pay attention to him. I know he's taking visits to Kansas. He already visited Kentucky, North Carolina. All the big names are on him, and then he's got a nice list of offers already from some pretty high major, mid major type of schools. So Ace is a show in himself.
Justin Lewis.
I think Justin Lewis is on the path. He has a really good chance to be a pro.
Yeah.
6'8", his body continues to fill out. I think his legs get bigger every time I see him. His athleticism is great, and what I love about him is his attitude. You just don't see many kids, especially today, that hold others accountable on the court. They might be scared. I don't want to either get into it with them, or just everybody's so sensitive these days. You know what I mean? But if you miss a rotation, he's gonna let you know. And I feel like those kids stand out really well. And in terms of when you're getting to the nit and grit of picking out who's a pro and who's not. And I feel like he's just very solid with that. And of course, every step is going to be, very important in his future in terms of if he lives up to be a pro. But a kid that can do everything, man. Shoot from three. He can catch at the high post and take you off the dribble. And if he's around the rim, he's putting it on your head. So a guy that, was a must-have for this event.
And last name, Cam Byers.
Cam Byers, rising junior as well. Was at John Carroll last year with Emmanuel quickly. Transferred. He's going to Delaney this year. Big body, physical, 6'5", 6'6". The craziest thing about him is I was looking one day, and I know, like, Cardell, you point out stuff like this, but I asked him what size his shoe was because he wears a 17. That was last year. So he's still growing. The bigger he gets, the better he's going to get. He's got a couple offers right now, and he's just a guy that if he gets you on the block, not many can just, especially in today's the way the refs call the game today, down in the painted area, that you're going to be able to handle him. So, but another guy who last year had to play a specific role next to Emmanuel and a lot of other talented guys on that John Carroll team, that I think Delaney he'll really be able to shine.
Okay, and just real quick, moving into the college aspect of guys that have left. What do you think about? I'm just gonna name names, and you just tell me. What do you think Jalen Smith's impact will be at Maryland?
I think he's going to be great. I saw some, I know some guys that are close to that situation and some coaches and whatnot, and he had a great showing in their games over in Europe. I think he led the team in scoring in like 2 of the 4 games. He's been killing in workouts, and from what I've heard, their mindset of how they see him right now, a lot can change, but is that he's going to be a one and done, which I maybe thought of him as maybe a 2-year guy and done, but I think he's just going to have so much impact on this team, especially next to Bruno down low. They're so polar opposites, but it's perfect, especially for the style of play and how you want to have your power forward be able to shoot threes and score inside and rebound and dominate defensively. He checks all those boxes.
Guy we seen social him during the summer, Noah Lockie.
Noah's
Florida.
Yeah, Noah's doing well. And a video just surfaced of him out there in practice. I don't know why those guys are letting him open from deep, but they are.
Exactly.
The coaching staff down there, though, is really happy with him. He's knocking down shots. He's working hard. From what I heard, though, is they're kind of planning for next year in terms of him being in rotation. He's got a couple NBA type players in front of him,
right.
So that's tough for any situation. But I wouldn't have more confidence than in a guy like Noah. He loves that challenge. He loves being able to push. there was an option there where he might wanted they offered maybe a red shirt type position, and he denied it right away. He said, no, I want to push these guys, and he you never know when your number's going to be called.
Right.
And he's the type of kid, Cardell, you work with him a lot, that he's going to be ready to go whenever he's called. So from all I heard, he's doing really well.
Manuel, quickly, another one we just saw in Kentucky going to work over what was the Bahamas or whatnot.
Yep.
Doing what he normally do, filling the stat sheet, passing the rock. What do you think about his impact? Because, he got competition with Quade at the point. So what do you think?
I think with that recent trip, man, he won the starting job. If you're basing it just off that, of course they got to start practice and do exhibitions and all that stuff. But in terms of right now, just the way he played his role, and that's a lot of criticism from him. You're going to Kentucky, you're used to getting online and seeing these kids flying above the rim and being 6'10", and or being a point guard like John Wall. And Emmanuel here he is. He plays the right way.
Right.
He can throw it down when he needs to on the break, but he just plays the right way. He gets everybody involved when they need to. And I've seen conversations with Coach Cal, and he's just obsessed with how Emmanuel works. I mean, he's in the gym. He's in the gym at 2 a.m, and then he'll let you know he's in the gym 5 hours later. And that's just what kind of kid he is. I know the first practice, Ashton Hagens busted out his 2 front teeth. Didn't stop. He finished practice, and I know going back to the old school, we're kind of used to that. But nowadays, kids are stopped playing. You know what I mean? So
3 weeks.
Yep. So he finished practice, made a dentist appointment, went and got him fixed, obviously, and was ready to go. So he's going to be a guy that really represents this area well, and a guy that really plays his role. I don't expect him to average 12 points a game because they don't need him to. But I certainly could see him averaging 7, 6, and 3, because that's just he's going to fill the stat sheet up. So I'm really happy that he went there and stayed true to who he is and is finding his way within that ultra talented Kentucky team. I think they could be one of the favorites. Obviously they are every year, but really this year with the returns they have.
A player that played real quickly that I feel like is just under the radar. A lot of people not really watching him for now. Montez Mathis. How you think he'll do at Rutgers?
I think he's gonna. I think he's not gonna struggle with is the physicality. Obviously, if you ever seen Montez play, he plays like a man. He always has. But I think Rutgers is a good place for him to grow. He's not going to be a guy that's going to come out and be a one and done, two and done type guy. I could see him, by his junior year, really, really finally getting it. And as his game becomes all around both ends, I mean, his motor is great, his competitiveness is great. And like you said, there was a lot of games where I know Emmanuel gets to shine because of his name in Kentucky, but Montez carried them and gave them the energy to push through. And a lot of those battles against MIAA teams, and even when they played national teams where maybe Emmanuel didn't play great, Montez was always right there. So he's going to go down swinging, and when you have that type of mentality, eventually you're going to hit it.
Last one, Quill Harnett at Cincinnati.
They went up to Canada and played recently, and from what I heard with the coaches, he's doing well. It's Lakeel is a type where he has a ton of talent, 6'8", 6'9", ability to play the point guard, can do everything, can on both sides of the floor. The thing with Lakeel is he needs to learn how to play basketball, and from what I've heard, he's been very receptive. Cincinnati was a great place for him because he's a Cincinnati type of player. But with that coaching staff, I was scared. It was either going to go one way or the other, because the Cincinnati, you mess up, they get on you, and they're, it's a different world over there with Mark Cronin. So the way that Lakeel is, when they butt heads, I was scared, but that's already went down. And, he put on 12 pounds in his first 11 days there. Don't ask me how. And then the other freshmen put on 14 in the first 11, and the other I don't want to get into the what goes on there. But their conditioning coach was on Twitter and said it's a ton of shakes, it's certain concentrated workouts, and it's a ton of water because it's a lot of water weight. I get it. I just want him to send me that plan and help me.
He worked them. I remember Jennifer put some clips up,
Yeah.
past couple years, and they worked the hell out of them boys.
All the time, man. So I'm excited for him. And another kid, really quick, that I just talked to today, Demetrius Mims from Poly.
Yeah.
He's over at Long Beach State, which is a good play ride over in California. I just spoke with him today, and it was music to my ears on what he's learned. I asked him, what's the biggest thing he's learned so far in the college game? And I know you'll like this, Cardell. He's just like, it's crazy how much every single dribble has so much purpose. Because, in high school, you see these kids just dribble.
Oh, they look like James.
You know what I mean? And right there, I just got so happy, and it's just like, you get it. I mean, of course, he's got a lot of other things to get in terms of the college game, but if you already got that down, man, that's half the battle right there. And he was like, and another thing is, I could use my dribble for every purpose and get to the rim, and there's another athlete there ready to block my shot. He was like, so now I have to adjust and know what play to make. It just felt good, man. It made my day. So that was another kid I definitely wanted to shout out since I just spoke with him today.
Bobby Knight said it best, man. High school, you showcase your talent, but college, you learn the game. That's the best way I could put it, man. So they gonna learn, and then that's when you apply it and become something special. You know what I'm saying? So,
and once you get in that pro, you got to read the game, because you're already equipped with everything that the elites are equipped with. Now it's dependent on your mindset. So, yeah, man, I'm really happy for that group. We all knew 2018 was going to be a special class.
right.
So now I just hope it all comes to fruition. I think everybody's in the perfect place for them. They need to be.
Right.
All right, man, I want to give y'all a break just to rest. Because that was a lot. And to those who are tuning in, man, I hope you guys pay attention on the screen, give Colby a follow. It's definitely worth it if you haven't heard. Just from this last 15 minutes, man, a lot of information was shared. Shout out to each and every one of these young men, especially those already in college that seem to be embarking on that journey. Hope they continue to progress going forward. We're going to take a quick break here at the Focus TV. When we get back, talk a little DC United, and we'll go from there. You're watching the Focus TV. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break. Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Focus TV. As promised, we're going to talk about DC United. So real quick, before we talk about this past week's game, if you didn't know, now you know, homegrown goalkeeper Billy Meade is back with the team. As reported by Stephen Goff for the Washington Post earlier today, Bill is expected to start tomorrow night in their game against the Portland Timbers. I expect that game, for all those in attendance, the crowd is going to be nuts. They didn't know how to act when they introduced Bill Sunday night, and he didn't play. If you've been a DC United fan for a while, I don't need to tell you what it means to you guys. And now about this current crop before he joins, as I said to start the show, man, it's probably the best game I've ever been to as a, card-carrying credential media member. Soccer being my first love, that made this just that much better. All right, so on Sunday night, DC United hosted Orlando City SC, and they won in dramatic fashion. The score was 3-2. We're going to start at the beginning. Luciano Acosta combines with Wayne Rooney to score the first goal in stoppage time of the first half. They created several chances in the first half, but one of the things that's happened with Acosta is Rooney's come. You have someone else you could trust with the ball. Sounds like another team in this area, and you're allowed to come off the ball and eat a little bit more. So Lucho's taking off the playmaker hat a little bit, and he's all about goals. And Sunday night, he was in his bag. He got the ball back from Rooney, took 2 touches, and the degree of difficulty on this goal was crazy because it's near post, the goalie's near post, and he still beats the goalie inside to the near post. All right, in the 63rd minute, I'm sorry, before that. An own goal is what helped Orlando equalize it. Someone crossed the ball back into the box. It was a lazy cross, very hopeful. Unfortunately for DC United, Steve Birnbaum got a toe on it. It bounced off David Olstead, and it went into the goal. But in the 63rd minute, Luciano Acosta, he struck again. Yamil Assad lofts a softball to the back post. Lucho times his run perfectly. Nobody runs with him. He's literally my size, if not a little smaller. Leaves his feet. The goalie goes to take him out, makes some contact. He uses a clever touch, guides it ever so gently past the keeper into the left corner. The roof went off. It doesn't have a roof. It went crazy after that. But shout out to Orlando. In between, right after that, maybe 10 minutes later, they lost the player. So they're playing 10 men down at this point on. They equal it up. They even it up with Dom Dwyer scores a goal. It's a beautiful chip shot. But at the 95th minute, this is where all the craziness started. DC United gets a corner. Kofi Apare gets a header on it. The ball gets to the goal line, but it's cleared. Will Johnson gets the ball for Orlando. The ball gets out to the left flank. Everything looks lovely. What you can't see in the screen, there's two more players running with him. It's an empty net because David Olstead is in the box. Everyone's running to get back. Here comes Wayne Rooney. He's known for everything but what he does here. He takes a beautiful angle, runs down Will Johnson, makes a textbook tackle. But more importantly, it's what he did after this. He gets the tackle, composes himself, takes a couple clean dribbles, and drops a 35-yard dime on the head of Luciano Acosta for the hat trick and the game winner. It was a lot of video reviews that night, but that one, I think we pretty much knew what it was. The place went crazy, and this happened so late in stoppage time. There was 6 minutes of stoppage time. This happened literally 96th minute, 20 to 30 seconds later, the game was over. So it was a heck of an ending. And with DC United currently, they've played less games than everybody else in MLS because they started the first half of the year on the road, which, you guys, we've told you guys that here quite often. So now everything on the back end of the schedule is all in their new beautiful stadium. So they got 3 points, which is what was important. As I said, tomorrow night they host the Portland Timbers. We'll see if they can continue because they're desperate right now. They're playing because they played less games, they got a chance if they can put a streak together to climb back in the playoff race and hopefully get above the line. So we're going to take a quick break, but before doing so, Jamal Hayward, 9-4-50. This week's move of the breakdown series of this segment is about the proper way to do a backdoor cut. We're just talking about good basketball. Colby was just talking about a young man who got it. Simple basketball makes life so easily. So pay attention to this. This is how good teams kill bad teams. Really simple. You don't need to draw up a play for this. It's just simple. So again, Jamal Hayward, 9-4-50. This week's breakdown series, the proper way to do a backdoor cut. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the break. This is the Focus TV.
Show a target. Person is passing from in. Show a target with your left hand. Push off the left foot. Go back door. Okay? So again, walk your right hand. Quick. Show a target. Go back door. Okay? Right foot. Pop out to the wing. Show a target. Person is passing from in. Show a target with your left hand. Push off the left foot. Go back door. Okay? So again, walk your right hand. Quick. Show a target. Go back door. Okay?
Welcome back to the Focus. And again, special thanks to Jamal Hayward for this week's episode of The Breakdown. Again, it's Jamal Hayward over at 9-4-50. As promised, just like we do with the Wizards, we keep the same energy around these parts for the WNBA. The Washington Mystics are currently in the midst of a 6-game win streak. On Sunday, they beat the Dallas Wings 93-80. Elena Delle Donne had a big second quarter. Big game as well, but really it's about the rook. This is Cardell's rook, Ariel Atkins. She was in her bag that entire game. She took a really hard fall in the fourth quarter, attacking the basket. We haven't heard any news in terms of anything super serious. So she fell on her hip, and that's what I know you said that's what Coach mentioned after the game.
Right.
So you can elaborate on that a little bit.
Nah, you know, he knew the question was going to come up. He just said, you know, she took a hard fall. She drove. You know, they contested her. She fell wrong. At first, it looked like, I mean, nobody really knew. You were just hoping it wasn't nothing like a knee or ankle. But, you know, she couldn't get up immediately. And the great thing is she walked off with another fellow, Rook Maisha Allen's walked off on her own, kind of with her helping her. But you know, Sabal said right after the game it was her hip. You know, but how significant it is, they don't know. You know, obviously she's going to be sore for a while, so I don't know if she may play tomorrow. Definitely, if she don't, you got to kind of eye the Sparks game because they fighting for playoff position. But you know, my main thing is hopefully she's not out for a long time with something serious because they need her. What she brings is just, especially for a rookie, she plays better than most vets across the league. Two-way player, can shoot it, defend, you know, improving playmaker. She can finish. She just got to learn how to fall. She kind of got a D-Wade, John Wall disease. She hits the floor a lot, and you don't last long in the pros hitting the floor a lot. You know what I'm saying? So she got to, you know, she's so much of a competitor. She'll drive and somebody get their hand on the ball, and you gotta know when they got the block. You know, just let it go. You let the ball go. You know what I'm saying? But she gonna still try to fight, and that's when, you know, she gets off balance in the air and she falls ugly. But she'll learn, and I'm pretty sure they talking to her, the vets and the staff or whatnot. But you know, you just gotta love her energy, man. I do. You know, I saw her right away. You know, from day one. And, you know, she kind of got my attitude when you competing. It's just like, look, I ain't here to talk too much. I'm here to bust y'all. Y'all, you know what? And go home. You know, as simple as that. And she shows it every game. She had a game high 26 and only played 29 minutes. She was destroying them. It was fair. It was unfair. With 5 rebounds, you know what I'm saying? So 70-11 shooting from the field. 5 of 5 from 3. I mean, it was nothing they could do. And the thing I like about her, and Tabal touched on this early in the season after a game, when she makes a typical rookie mistake, she'll hustle even more back on defense or something to try to make up for it, and she usually does, getting a steal or something. So when the coach about to yell, she does that, he be like, all right, let me sit back. You know, it's just that type of feel. So I love what the rookie brings. Hopefully she's healthy, and you know, they can get ready for it and try to make a run.
Yeah, and that's the best part about this. We've been talking all year long. The only word we've been using with this team this entire time: defense, 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 defense. One of the players that's definitely getting overlooked, you know, as they went on this run, center Latoya Sanders has been outstanding during this run. She doesn't get a lot of credit for what she does, but Elena plays the 4, even though she's taller than Sanders. Sanders a little bit undersized from a bulk standpoint, playing a 5, but she does such a great job understanding, like just with her timing, she does a great job with verticality. She understands her length. She uses it quite well. She moves her feet well on defensively. And what she's done as the months have gone by, she's starting to take advantage of the space offensively, and it's kind of taking a very good offensive team and taking them to a new place, because defensively, you kind of, you know what if you do and you know what if you don't, because you can't really help off her anymore. You can't help off Cloud the same way. And with Atkins doing what she's doing, what you're starting to see is Deladon starting to pick her spots. Now, and that's a scary thing when you have somebody who can score like that. The first quarter, she had 2 points. Game's tied 20-20. And in the second quarter, and credit to Aerial Powers, talk about another person with just that type of mentality. She came in at the start of the second quarter, stole a couple inbound passes, attacking the basket. She only had 8 points. All 8 came in that quarter. What's not a coincidence, that type of energy and effort. The Mystics scored 31 points in the second quarter, and Elena gets going during this. Because everybody else's activity, she starts walking into walk-up threes. And again, this is a big-time scorer. You know, she gets on track, and they become a different monster.
And I got to throw another shout-out to, she may not be the best player because it's Deladon, but she's the most important player to me, Natasha Cloud.
Yes.
Her improvement this season that's what vaulted them to become a contender right now. You know, the knock on her for years is just she got everything. She just got to improve her jumper.
Yes.
And she's done that this year. The reason why they're on this win streak, you notice they started this streak when she came back.
Yes. And
they kind of fell apart when she got hurt. She missed a few games. As they approached the game against the Wings, she was playing like historic efficient basketball. She was averaging 13.2 points, 5 assists, 3.2 rebounds on 61% shooting from the field and 68% shooting from three-point range, while only committing 1.5 turnovers. You see what I'm saying? Like what she's been doing is insane. She's a big point guard. She plays great defense. She could literally guard 3 positions.
Yep.
And she's a smart defender. At the beginning of the season, just seeing them in like preseason games, their defense remind me. I told you that, and it's a connection. The Doberman defense to what the Bulls used to do with Mike and Scotty, and that makes sense because the ball was with those guys early on, and he allows Cloud and Adkins and TRP when they're in the game to just kind of go on their own when they feel like they could dig down the bigs and try to get a steal, and it works, and it keeps the bigs kind of worrying, like, I got to worry about my man now. Yep. Somebody might come down. That's just one end where she's just excellent at, even on ball. The way she frustrated Skylar Diggins, held her to 5 of 21 shooting in the win on Sunday. I mean, how she controlled pace, how her energy is contagious. She's always upbeat and positive, so Mystics never get down. She's being a floor leader, and she understands that, I got to get everybody involved, even though with her improved shooting, I think she's shooting 46% from 3 this year, which is a jump from 23% last season, and it's 5th in the league. So with that addition to her game, that improvement, it has opened things up not only for her but the Mystics.
Yep.
And with her, I feel like she's the most important because she literally is the most versatile player on the team right now. She does everything. While other girls may be stronger in certain aspects, she literally does everything. When she's not on the floor, they hurt. And, if she keeps playing like this, they definitely got a shot at winning the championship.
Yeah, and the biggest part of that, almost everything you talk about, it doesn't always necessarily show up in the box score. Especially you talk about her size. It's different when they hit the glass. When she's the one that gets the rebound, everybody can go.
Yep.
And it's not 2-3 passes up court. She plays the touchdown pass.
Oh, yeah.
And they throw a lot of them. Like, they don't – now people love Kevin Love with outlet passes.
It's
that type of pass after she gets a rebound. Like, everybody knows, oh, Cloud got it, we're going. It's just, we're out. Let's go. And the other thing that makes it beautiful is you're throwing the ball up. Everybody but one person on the floor can run to a corner. Mm-hmm. Those are threes. So it's fun. And just shout out to, to that coaching staff, too, that development. Because that takes time.
Man,
this is year 4.
That's key in the pros. People underestimate. They're like, why that player didn't get better? You got to look at the staff, man. Because certain teams, you see players go there, they get better.
Yep.
It's automatic. Give it time. And you see that with the Mystics and stuff like that. I mean, you see it. And I'm just happy. I mean, they put work in. Let's just say that. Yep. Even before pregame, you ain't going to waste time just shooting anything. 1 dribble pull-ups, work on this. And then it shows. The payoff is, you see it in the game.
And then just another thing to throw into this with their preparation, because of the compacted schedule, they don't have a lot of practice time. So talking to like a rookie, you're going from college where you get film time, get practice time, and then you go to apply it. You're going to apply it in practice first. Talking to Atkins, she's seeing it on film, taking notes. Next chance to apply it is tomorrow's game. So you're not getting a chance to really, there's kind of no room for error. But they're in a really good place. They're 3rd in the league at the moment. The regular season ends on the 19th. They play the Fever tomorrow night, and they come home and host the Sparks. We're fighting for a playoff spot. They're fighting to try to advance because they're tied with the Sun right now. Both teams are 18-13. In the WNBA, the 3rd and 4th seed get a bye. The 1st and 2nd seed get a double bye. So it's important that you get that. And unlike the NBA, the conference stuff doesn't matter at all. It's your league record. And that's what's important. So that's why this last week is so pivotal. They got the Sparks on Friday, the Fever tomorrow, and then you take on a Minnesota team in Minnesota. They're going to be on 12. You heard the news about Lindsey Whalen retiring at the end of the season. That's going to be a tough finish to the season. But real quick, Lindsey Whalen, just thoughts on her career as, she's about to – it's going to be her last year in the WNBA.
It's crazy to think that this is, her last season. Like you said, she's been one of the best players in WNBA for a long time. And it's well-deserved, though. Some people feel like they know when it's their time and it's time to move on. But it's going to be a sad case to not see her play anymore. But, if you've been privy enough to see her play over the years, then you know exactly what the type of player she is and the type of caliber player that she is. So it's well-deserved for her to get her rest.
Nah, definitely. Cardell.
Hey man, mother time, mother undefeated.
Undefeated.
It is what it is.
It hit some people earlier.
I mean, like been saying it all year, they look old, man. And she's young point guards barking at it. They ain't used to do that. That's when you know it's like, all right, let me get up out of here before they make me get up out of here.
Yep.
You know, so but one of the best to ever do it, winner. You know, I heard somebody said that she might be the best. Might be the best player, period, that come out of Minnesota, period, regardless of gender.
Man.
And it's hard to argue with her accomplishments. So, I mean, hell of a career. What more can you say?
Yeah, I mean, I just, like, when I heard the news that she was retired, instantly just started thinking about, you know, how fortunate we've been to see her play quite a bit, especially for the U.S. national team. And over the past couple of years, like, as you said, first thing that come to mind, she's just a winner. Whatever needed to be done, she got done. I think that's a wonderful way to be remembered. And that's the Lynx are currently sitting 7th. They make the playoffs. It's going to be tough to get them out because that's one heck of an emotional boost to deal with, despite, you know, the things like their age and whatnot. And that's a veteran group. So be interesting to see how that goes as this season comes to an end. Anybody had anything else they want to throw on before we get out of here?
We want to do a quick wrap-up.
I just real quick wanted to shout out. We're doing a whole bunch of shout outs. I want to shout out Cardell for what he's been doing with the kid Vontae Sanders.
Yes.
Man, like that's a journey that I've definitely followed through social media, and I wasn't really familiar with him at first. So obviously when I see Cardell working with him, I look him up. I look up, you know, all the stuff that goes with him, and you know, just getting in the kid with the gym at any time, and it all paid off. And the other thing is, you know, he's a Division III kid from St. Mary's, and you know, that's no better story to me. That's just all you gotta want it. So I just wanted to shout him out for traveling with him through it. Nobody realizes the hours that you gotta put in and all the stuff that you gotta do and the strings that you gotta pull to accomplish something like that. So I love what you're doing for the kids, man.
That's him. He grinding. He listening, so it's easy. But he had to go up there and prove himself, and he did all summer up in New York. So coming back, going up there, playing the games. Both of us, we not getting back home till like 4 a.m. Got to wake back up, back in the gym the next day. You know what I'm saying? So he won it, man. He earned everything he gets. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm right with Colby. I tried to brag the other day on social media, sharing the article from the Combinator. But I mean, you talk about sports, and that's what makes sports fun. You know, stories like that. It's gonna be one heck of a story for the young man. We wish him the best going forward, because he gets a chance to write it however he wants, especially after how it started, which is to end his college career, man. That's all you can ever ask for. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight, man. We truly appreciate it. Good. As always, stay with us for your local coverage. We got a lot going on. Obviously, WNBA playoffs start literally next week, so that's something. DC United is about to kill me with all these home games.
Back to back. You got a break in the beginning, no more breaks.
Hey, look, right?
No days off.
I can't even complain because like the whole 4 months, I'm like, Cardell, I can breathe. Like it's cool, but like, and I was telling him as it got like as the year went by, I was like, it's about to hurt. Like I kept telling him, I was like, the last 15 of the last 20 at home, 15 of the last 20, and I'm counting them down. I'm like, not till October. Not till October. Well, Colby, thank you so much for coming through, man. We appreciate it. Hope the event goes swimmingly well. And we're going to see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning to the Focus TV.